Gene Hackman's wife, Betsy Arakawa, called doctor the day after officials say she died. Physician claims the mystery surrounding the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, has deepened as the pianist's doctor cast doubt on the date that officials estimate she died. Dr. Josiah Child, who runs the Cloudberry Health private practice in New Mexico, claimed Sunday that he received a phone call from Arakawa on Feb. 12, one day after she was said to have died. Mrs. Hackman didn't die on Feb. 11 because she called my clinic on Feb. 12, he told the Daily Mail. The primary care doctor shared that Arakawa had called his clinic a couple of weeks before her death to ask about getting a heart scan for her husband. At the time, she was not a patient of Child's, but she ended up scheduling an appointment for herself for Feb. 12. It was for something unrelated to anything respiratory, he told the outlet, referencing a medical examiner determining that Arakawa died of hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a rare rat-borne respiratory disease. Child said Arakawa ultimately cancelled her appointment on Feb. 10 because her husband was not well. However, she called his office back on the morning of Feb. 12 and spoke to one of his doctors, who told her to come in that afternoon. We made her an appointment, but she never showed up, Child claimed. She did not show any symptoms of respiratory distress. The appointment wasn't for anything related to hantavirus. We tried calling her a couple of times with no reply. The bombshell contradicts with the medical examiner's previous estimation that Arakawa died on Feb. 11. That afternoon, she was seen running errands at a local grocery store, a pharmacy, and a pet shop near the couple's Santa Fe home. Hackman and Arakawa were not found dead, however, until Feb. 26. They were 95 and 65, respectively. Officials believe the musician died about a week before the French Connection actor in their house. Hackman, who had heart problems and advanced Alzheimer's disease, died from hypertensive atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease in a separate room. He is believed to have died on Feb. 18. Which was the last day his pacemaker was active. The world had barely come to terms with the sudden and mysterious death of Hollywood legend John Hackman when an even more chilling event unfolded. Just days after the public funeral, an unexpected attack on his daughter, Leslie Hackman, reignited suspicion and raised even more questions about the circumstances surrounding her father's passing. This time, the investigation would take a new and dangerous direction, one that might uncover secrets that Hackman himself had kept hidden for years. But what could Leslie possibly know that had led to an attempt on her life? Join us as we delve into the startling revelations that have emerged from this case. The unlikely attack, a deliberate message. According to police reports, the attack on Leslie Hackman occurred late at night, just days after the funeral of her father, John Hackman. What made the attack even more unusual was that it took place in the very house where John had lived and passed away. This detail alone raised a series of questions. Was this simply a random break-in, or was it tied to the unresolved mysteries surrounding John's death? Hackman's house was located in a secure neighborhood and was equipped with state-of-the-art security systems, including a network of surveillance cameras. Yet, on the night of the attack, the entire security system was disabled, leaving no video footage or security alerts. This was no ordinary malfunction. It was a deliberate action. The question now was, who had the ability to disable the security system, and why? Was this an attack with a clear target, or simply a random act of violence? Leslie's resistance and the initial investigation. Leslie managed to escape the attack and quickly called the police, but by the time they arrived, the assailant had disappeared without a trace. There were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, and no footprints. Initially, the police believed it might have been a failed burglary attempt that was interrupted. However, the lack of evidence linking the attack to a larger conspiracy left the authorities inclined to close the case as just another random crime. Yet, the next morning, the police returned for a second search of Leslie's home, and this time, they weren't just conducting a routine check, they seemed to be searching for something specific. Leslie, though startled and nervous, complied. What the officers uncovered next would change the course of the investigation entirely. The hidden room, secrets behind the bookshelf. During the search, the police discovered a hidden room concealed behind a bookshelf in Leslie's study. The room was absent from the house's original blueprints, and Leslie had never mentioned it before. As the officers entered the room, they uncovered a collection of old documents, personal letters belonging to John Hackman, and most notably a significant amount of cash locked away in a safe. This discovery immediately shifted the investigation from a simple attack on Leslie to a much deeper inquiry. Why had Leslie kept these documents hidden? What was the significance of the money? And why was it concealed in such a secretive manner? These findings opened a new door, one that would lead to hidden secrets about John Hackman's life and potentially the true cause behind his death. Shocking revelations. Hackman's hidden secrets. The contents of the secret room revealed disturbing details. The police found several documents detailing financial transactions that John Hackman had made in his final years, some of which appeared to involve suspicious investments and undisclosed accounts. These documents suggested that Hackman had been involved in financial dealings that were never made public, dealings that could have serious consequences, if revealed. Among these documents were handwritten letters from John to Leslie, letters he had never sent. These letters contained cryptic messages that hinted at Hackman's growing anxieties and his belief that someone close to him was untrustworthy. In one letter, he warned Leslie, "I hope you never have to read these words. If you do, it means I am no longer here, and I fear something has not gone according to plan. Find the truth for yourself." These letters raised a crucial question. Had Hackman suspected something dangerous was on the horizon? And if so, who was he trying to warn Leslie about? Additionally, a safe containing hundreds of thousands of dollars was found hidden in the room, further complicating the investigation. While the money was not linked to any criminal activity, its presence raised significant questions. Why had Hackman kept such a large sum of money in his home? And why had Leslie hidden it instead of reporting it to the authorities immediately? Leslie's journal, guilt, suspicion, and a growing conspiracy. In addition to the documents and cash, the police also found Leslie's personal journal. The entries revealed a deep emotional conflict within her. Leslie expressed regret and guilt over not being there for her father in his final years, admitting that she had been too preoccupied with her own life to notice the signs that her father needed her. But more disturbing were her suspicions about her father's new wife, Betsy Arakawa. In one entry, Leslie wrote, "My father was always a cautious man, but after she came into his life, he changed. He became distant, quieter, no longer trusted the people he once considered close friends. Strange things happened that I could never explain. And then, suddenly, he was gone. I refuse to believe it was just an accident." Leslie's growing doubts about Betsy and the changes in her father's behavior forced the police to reconsider the initial conclusions about John Hackman's death. Was it truly a natural death, or had Leslie been trying to warn them about something she had discovered long ago? The new investigation. Was John Hackman murdered? The documents, cash, and cryptic letters found in Leslie's secret room led the police to question the official cause of John Hackman's death. While the initial autopsy concluded that Hackman died of a heart attack, there were multiple inconsistencies in the reports that could not be ignored. Hackman had a history of heart disease, but he had no signs of severe danger before his death. There were no complaints from Hackman, no indications of chest pain or shortness of breath, and no one heard him cry out for help. Furthermore, John Hackman had been awake at 1:30 a.m., just half an hour before he was declared dead. How could a man suffering from a sudden heart attack remain silent and show no signs of distress? This raised the question, was his death really caused by natural causes, or was it the result of foul play? The financial motive, a darker web of deceit. Another key element in the investigation was the large financial sum that had disappeared from Hackman's personal accounts just days before his death. This suspicious transfer raised the possibility that Hackman had been coerced into moving his assets, potentially by someone close to him. Leslie had long suspected her stepmother, Betsy Arakawa, of being involved in more than just Hackman's retirement. According to Leslie, Betsy had isolated Hackman from his children and the outside world, manipulating him into abandoning Hollywood. Hackman had been married to Betsy for several years before his death, but their relationship had been shrouded in mystery. The police began to question whether Betsy had a financial motive for Hackman's death. She had quickly moved to take control of his estate after his passing, prompting further scrutiny of her actions. Theories and suspects. Who is behind John Hackman's death? With all the new evidence pointing to a conspiracy, the police were forced to reopen the investigation. They now focused on two main suspects, Betsy Arakawa and a former business associate of Hackman. Both had the motive, opportunity, and financial interests to want Hackman silenced. But who was truly behind the death of the Hollywood icon? The investigation uncovered more about Hackman's secret life, from his business dealings to his cryptic letters, and everything pointed to one central idea. John Hackman had known something that someone wanted to keep hidden, and he paid the ultimate price for it. But could those behind his death also have been plotting to silence Leslie? Conclusion: will the truth ever be uncovered? Leslie Hackman has uncovered a wealth of information that could change everything we thought we knew about her father's death. The secret room, the money, the documents, and the cryptic letters all point to a much larger conspiracy, one that could involve powerful figures who will stop at nothing to protect their secrets. As the investigation continues, Leslie finds herself in even greater danger. And the question remains, will she be able to uncover the truth before it's too late? With the authorities now focused on potential suspects and new revelations surfacing every day, the future of this case is uncertain. One thing is clear, however. The death of John Hackman was not just a natural event, it was a meticulously planned operation to silence a man who knew too much. And Leslie, now holding the key to uncovering the truth, faces an uncertain future. Will she find justice, or will the powerful forces behind her father's death succeed in keeping their secrets buried forever? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think happened to John Hackman? And who do you believe is behind his mysterious death? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on the latest developments in this mysterious case.